Hey everybody, this is Andrew themoo, and I've decided today to just kind of take a little bit of time to relax and play a little point, not really a point and click game, but more or less just a game where you only have one button. This is Turbo Pug, because why not play a game starring pugs? Because we all love pugs, right? We love pugs. Ooh, they have character selection, and they actually have characters that, you can tell that I've been playing some of this. We're going to start with regular old run-of-the-mill pug, and there's some characters that I have not unlocked yet for reasons. But look, you're just a little pug running through the area, and so, you got to avoid obstacles such as, well, walls and spikes, and eventually saw blades and things of that nature. See, there's some spikes right there, and I have just gutted the little fella in one swift run. So I'm going to switch to the character I normally play as, and that's Super Pug, because Super Pug has double jump, and I like to make good use of that double jump feature. That's right, people, I like to cheat and use the double jump. What are you going to do about it? You can call me a cheater? You can call me a cheater? I don't blame you, probably, would, but since it's part of the game and not a code or something of that nature, it is absolutely all well and fine for me to do this. But you may be asking, why play a game like this? Why play Turbo Pug? Well, because, ladies and gentlemen, who wouldn't want to play a game with pugs? I mean, the game is like 99 cents, and because of the fact that there are pugs involved, that makes the game worth it. Hello, dead person, probably tortured to death by pugs. It stars pugs, and that in and out of itself is going to be worth it. I mean, who wouldn't want to buy a video game where you can play as a pugnacious little pug? I know I would. In fact, I did. And so that's why I have done this. I am, but, I figured I wanted to play this just to see if I could, how well I did not really, talking and having to concentrate on talking and playing this game at once. And it doesn't help the fact that it's early morning right now. I think it's about like, I say early morning. It's about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Or actually, it's after 9 o'clock. Andrew doesn't know what time it is. Well, one of the reasons for that is the fact that it is, I've been getting up at like 6 o'clock every day. And I'll get back to the pug thing in just a moment. I've been getting up at 6 o'clock every day, or 6:30. That way I can focus on doing schoolwork, I can focus on other studies, I can focus on recording episodes, I can focus on Bible study, and, as far as just, my own personal type stuff. And so I'm able to do that as well as, so I can make sure I have plenty of time to spend with my wife. That way I don't get home from work. And, here I am, nuts. Here I am nuts. And here I am like, all right, I've got to study for school now. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. I've got to do the other. So, I mean, those are things that, getting up really early in the morning has been able to help me out with. Now, at the same time, I'm going to bed a whole lot earlier than I used to because of the fact I need sleep. So, right now, the sun is completely and utterly shining in my eyes as I'm trying to do this, so I've got like added difficulty right now. I'm trying my best. Yeah, leaning back doesn't help me out any because it moves me further away from the microphone. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to do this is I wanted to be able to focus on being able to continuously talk while focusing on the video game itself, because I've noticed at times when I have to really, really concentrate, I stop talking. And I really need to get into the habit of being able to talk better while I'm playing this, a video game. So I figured playing a game like this might help me out with that. So you all get to watch me do an exercise in trying to become a better Let's Player. So hopefully I can be slightly interesting while I'm doing this. I don't know if I will or not. I know that, this is just, again, it's kind of an exercise. An exercise in me trying to get better, and you can tell I'm not really good at this game even when I am not focusing or not talking, because I can only get 4,000, and I'm getting maybe a little over 1,000 right now. So yeah, not a whole lot of improvements being done. Okay. So, you can tell I'm not really good at this game, although I think in just a second, hey, we broke 2,000. We're at the halfway point. We're going to see if maybe, just maybe, we can beat the score that is our high score. Wouldn't that be nice to do while we're Let's Playing? Just be able to beat that high score and say, hey, I was able to do it. And I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. Ooh. Alright. Oh. So close, yet so far away. And it devolved. My commentary devolved into me making just a whole bunch of different noises, like so yeah, not quite what I wanted to happen, but it's what ended up happening anyway. Oh! Okay, I got struck by lightning. I had forgotten that happens. I freaked out for a moment. My Pug could not move. He could not jump. He could not do anything. He could just move forward into the reaches of space, and so RNG almost had its way with me just then. Alright, so we're getting close to that score again, that wondrous score that we're going for, beating my other score. So, like, I got through watching Doctor Strange last night with Ren, and I've got to say, if you've never seen it before, I'll at least beat my run. If you've never seen it before, I would recommend seeing it. We made the decision we wanted to watch it in 3D, and I got to tell you, like, that, you know, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of 3D as a gimmick, because, one, I've got to, you know, I wear glasses, and I sometimes wear contacts, but not always. And late at night, I don't like to wear contacts, and, you know, HD, I mean, to see things in 3D, we have to kind of go later at night where I live. Anyway, I'm not a huge fan of 3D as a gimmick, because I have to wear glasses over my glasses, and so it's kind of uncomfortable, plus my eyes begin to hurt after a while. But, what in the world did I just hit and die? What killed me? The roof? Anyway, the movie was really, really good, and it made such wonderful use of the 3D effects. It's one of the few movies that I've been able to watch and justify seeing it in 3D again. And it's something I would definitely recommend to anyone. If you watch Doctor Strange, you need to see it in 3D. It is absolutely worth every penny of it. It's a good 2-hour movie. I don't really want to go into details about everything, but it's a wonderful plot story. And Marvel just seems to be getting better and better at their movie storytelling as I drop the Pug face first into the wall. They're getting better and better at their storytelling. One of the key complaints that I have about it is probably the complaint that more often than not we have about these movies, is that you're not really able to flesh out the villains as much as you'd like to. So, you know, kind of the villains always seem expendable. That was all my fault. The villains kind of seem expendable because of that. And that's something that I think there was one villain that was kind of wasted, and that's personal opinion. Now, it could be the case that I end up being proved wrong if said character is used more in depth later on in the Doctor Strange movies. I'm just trying my best not to say much or too much in order to give anything away, but hopefully this character will be used more in a better way in the next movie. I do have to say though, like, for the first time in my life, I think I'm very, very excited about a DC movie. Like, honestly, even though it wasn't as bad as I would thought it would be, I was not a huge fan of the Suicide Squad. I was not excited for it at all. And I will say that it, like Batman vs. Superman, was not as bad as everyone said it was. Now, granted, I watched the Ultimate Edition of Batman vs. Superman, so it made a whole lot more sense than the theatrical version. But, Suicide Squad is one of those movies that everyone was like, oh, it's going to be terrible, it's going to be bad, it's going to be horrible. It was actually pretty good for the most part. I could not stand Jared Leto's Joker. Sorry, hipster fans. He is probably, first of all, one of the worst looking Jokers that I had ever seen in my life. As far as he looked like nothing more than a thug with green hair. He did not remind me of the Joker character in the least bit. And even though he tried to mimic Heath Ledger's voice, I still say he's one of the worst Jokers that has ever existed. And if you don't like that, well, you're entitled to your own opinion and all that jazz, but it won't be the first time that you've been wrong. I'm just making people angry. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, like, it's been hard for me to get excited about DC movies. But I've been able to finally get excited about when I saw the trailer for Wonder Woman recently. And I've got to say, Wonder Woman looks really good. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. I cannot remember any of the actors who are in it to save my life, even though I can see their faces. I can see their faces in my head right now. Look at a little pug. I'm using this time to talk about DC and Marvel movies. Anyway, Wonder Woman is really exciting me, and so I think that maybe if they are able to, they might be able to. I really think they've got to do a lot of, and I mean a lot of, damage control to really get Justice League on par for what the Avengers Infinity Gauntlet movies or the Infinity Crisis movies is going to be like. I mean, you're going to have to do a lot of work in order to pull that off. Because if you do not pull that off, well, I mean, the DC movie franchise is going to die a slow death. Because DC has made a whole lot of missteps as far as their movies are concerned. You know, the Dark Knight movies, awesome. Christopher Nolan did a great job. The Superman movies, I'm going to be honest with you, I saw Superman, or the Man of Steel, I think is what it was. Had Kevin Costner, Henry Cavill, and, you know, all that. I got bored most of the way through the movie, and part of it is the fact that Superman to me is one of the most boring superheroes ever. Although I think they are doing a better job of his character in these movies than they have in the past. I don't know what it is. There's just something about Superman movies that make me bored. Batman vs. Superman, the villains of it, like, I guess. I don't know. The point that I'm getting at is DC has had so many missteps. I have never seen Green Lantern, although I plan on doing it sometime in the future. But I've heard not to go into it like expecting anything great because they ruined most everything they could with it. And they had Ryan Reynolds, who would have, in my mind, done a decent Hal Jordan, and they just seem to waste it, or waste him and waste the character. So it kind of makes me wonder what they're going to do as far as Green Lantern in the next movie, as I really haven't kept up with that, you know, as I should. But anyway, it's stuff that I'll find out about sometime in the very near future. Anyway, I've been rambling too long, and like I said, I'm just wanting to do an exercise to see what I can do. And I think I did a decent job of talking through all this stuff. Anyway, this is Andrew the Moo, and did I unlock anything? I unlocked a penguin, and I unlocked a pumpkin pug, a pug pin. You know, let's take a look at the pug pin. Oh, he has a glow-in-the-dark head, and he double jumps. And, that's pretty neat right there. Whoa. So, I just saved myself from certain doom. It's like, we're done recording now, aren't we? No, we're going to look at the glow-in-the-dark pug head. So that's a cute little fella right there. Glow-in-the-dark pug head. Yay, pugs. Anyway, this has been Andrew the Moo, and hope you all have a great day. And we'll talk more later about Marvel movies and stuff as time goes on. Have a great one. Bye now.